Okay, let's plunge directly into the list. Number 10 on the list is DIY Bone Meal Fertilizer. Bone meal is a great organic fertilizer and another way to use up things that you would probably throw out otherwise. You can make your own bone meal by boiling chicken bones. Be sure that the bones are completely clean before starting. Boil the bones for 2 days. Be sure to turn the stove off at night and just let them sit. They'll get soft after a couple of days of boiling, and then you can grind them up with water in a blender. Add this solution to your soil under plants. This is great for tomatoes and many other blooming plants. Okay, before we move on to number 9. If you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, kindly subscribe and hit the bell icon for more such videos. 9. Vinegar Fertilizer. Vinegar has acetic acid that is great for certain plants. You can use this on roses and various other houseplants as well as vegetables in your garden. To make vinegar fertilizer, just combine a tablespoon of white vinegar. Only white vinegar, as apple cider vinegar doesn't have the same nutrient properties, with a gallon of water. Use this solution to water your plants about once every 3 months for best results. 8. Fireplace Ash Fertilizer. Fireplace ash provides calcium carbonate and potassium to plants. All you need to do is add the ash to the garden bed and then massage it into the soil. It may be best to do this right before planting so that you don't risk knocking your plants over or harming them while massing the ash into the soil. 7. Quick Fix Fertilizer Tea. Sometimes you just don't have time to wait for days or weeks for a fertilizer tea to steep. If that's the case, you can make this quick fix fertilizer tea that actually uses real tea. In an empty gallon jug, just add a teaspoon of baking powder, a teaspoon of ammonia, 3 teaspoons of instant iced tea, and 3 teaspoons of molasses. You also need 3 tablespoons of molasses and 3 tablespoons of 3% hydrogen peroxide with 1/4 cup of crushed bone scraps, 1 crushed eggshell, and half of a dried banana peel. The ammonia adds nitrogen while the tea has tannic acid to help plants absorb nutrients. Hydrogen peroxide feeds oxygen to plants, and of course, bananas add potassium. Once you've added these ingredients, fill your jug with water and let it sit for an hour. Then water your plants. 6. Eggshell Fertilizer. Eggshells are something else that you probably have tons of throughout the week and typically just throw out. The shells contain a lot of calcium, which helps with cellular growth in your plants. Calcium-deficient soil can lead to blossom end rot on tomatoes and various other garden catastrophes. This eggshell fertilizer will help to end that. Just crush up used eggshells and then bury them in the soil. Or, you can make a spray with 20 eggshells and a gallon of water. Boil the shells in the water for just a few minutes and then leave overnight. Strain the shells and add the water to a spray bottle to spray directly onto your soil. 5. Gelatin Fertilizer. Did I say that you can make organic fertilizer out of nearly anything? This gelatin fertilizer is proof of that. Gelatin is a great source of nitrogen, which your soil needs to produce big, healthy plants. Just dissolve a package of plain gelatin into a cup of hot water and then add 3 cups of cold water. Pour this onto the soil surrounding your plants about once per month. It's also a great recipe for houseplants. 4. Grass Clippings Tea. Put those grass clippings to work the next time you mow your lawn. Place fresh grass clippings in a 5-gallon bucket and then cover with water. You'll need to let this sit for about 5 days. Then dilute the fertilizer tea by adding 10 cups of fresh water to 1 cup of tea and pour on soil. The grass clippings help to add essential nutrients back into the soil. 3. Seaweed Fertilizer. Okay, this one is better if you actually live near the sea. Wouldn't we all love to live near the sea? It's another recipe that has been used for centuries. Seaweed contains mannitol that helps to increase the ability of your plants to absorb the nutrients that are naturally found in soil. You can use fresh or dried seaweed. For those of us not lucky enough to live near a beach, you can purchase dried seaweed at most organic stores. You'll need 8 cups of chopped seaweed. Fill a 5-gallon bucket halfway with water. Use rainwater if you can. And then add the seaweed. Let it steep for 3 weeks and then strain. It stores well for up to 3 weeks. Then just mix half seaweed tea and half water in a 2-liter bottle and water your plants. 2. Organic tea fertilizer. For centuries, gardeners have been mixing this simple tea fertilizer to provide nutrient to plants. And it's really easy to make. Mix 1/4 cup of Epsom salt with 2 cups of urine. This may seem like an odd step, but it really does work. Mix this with 2 cups of ash from your wood stove or fireplace and then fill the 5-gallon bucket up with grass clippings or even weeds that you pull from your garden. Fill to the top of the bucket with water and allow the tea to steep for 3 days. Strain the tea after 3 days and dilute it by half with water. You can do this in a 2-liter bottle. Just add directly to the soil around your plants. 1. DIY molasses fertilizer. Molasses, when you create a compost tea, helps to increase the microbes and beneficial bacteria that those microbes feed on. This helps all of your plants to grow big and healthy. To make molasses tea, you just mix 1 to 3 tablespoons of preferably organic molasses into a gallon of water. Then just add this tea to your plants once a week or so and watch them grow.